You are a grown adult. So I hesitate to say you must or you have to. But please, I implore you, I beg you, before you go on a podcast interview, for the love of God, please check your microphone. Hi, this is Tom Schwab with Interview Valet, and today's podcast guest profits tip of the day, it's very personal to me. You see, checklists are written in blood, and most of the blood that you find on the checklist that we give to all of our clients and give out freely is my blood. And one of the most embarrassing things, the amateurish things that ever happened to me was not checking my microphone. Now, let me explain this to you. It was way back in 2015. I had been invited by Darren Bentley to be on Big Wig Nation. Now, if you don't know Darren, you're missing out. Check him out online. He was an early podcaster. He's bigger than life. He is huge. You can always pick him out in a crowd, not only by how big he is and how he looks, but how bright he is. The conversations he has and the forward-looking he is. You know, this was a big podcast. Up to this point, this had probably been my biggest podcast ever. So I went through everything. I restarted my computer. I made sure everything was turned off. Everything except one thing was checked. We finished the entire interview, and at this time it was just audio. There was no video on, and I thought it had gone great. I was so happy, and Darren and I chat a little bit afterwards, and he says, "Hey, what kind of microphone are you using?" And I had just gotten this microphone. And I was so proud to say, well, I'm using the Heil PR40 microphone. And that's what I said. And he's like, didn't sound like that. So sure enough, I went to the settings. That time we were using Skype, and I looked, and I was being picked up by my internal microphone. I was speaking into a $400 microphone and being picked up by the internal one. I had not checked, and when I rebooted my computer, it just picked the internal one. And Skype routinely does this. Zoom does it sometimes, and other ones every now and then. And it was just awful. I felt awful, right? Because I knew that I sounded like I was calling in from a bathroom or prison, right? And you want to ruin your credibility on a podcast, sound awful. Make it people wait for the flush in the next stall. They're gonna judge you off of the podcast host, and if you sound like a Yahoo, they're not going to believe you. And the thing is checking the microphone is so easy. Now today, most modern platforms, and I would say Skype, I don't consider a modern platform anymore, easily let you do it. For Skype, if you call Echo 123. There's this real nice British voice. This British lady goes, "Welcome to Skype call testing service. Leave a message and we'll play it back." And so you leave it, test 1 2 3 3 2 1, and it plays back. So you're good to go. Most modern ones have it built in. So if you go to Zoom in the bottom left-hand corner, you can do a sound check. They'll play something through the speakers, and you can record your microphone and it'll play back. Squadcast, which is probably, the up and coming, the best audio and video that I have seen and the easiest to use, that is, that's built right in. So it makes it easy. But even with that, even if you do that, one of the easiest mic checks you will ever make is just before you jump on the recording with the host. You're doing a little bit of back and forth. Just ask her, "Hey, can you hear this?" And scratch your microphone. That's 100% way to know that I'm talking into the microphone. And you would be amazed how many people are surprised when it's not the right microphone. For all of our clients at Interview Valet, we do a practice podcast interview. Now, they know their content, so it's not like we've got to practice that, but we go through calls to action, and it's really, half-hour free consulting session with me to answer any questions. But we go through the microphones, and I can't tell you how many people get on there, have everything set up, think they're ready to go, and I'm like, "Could you just scratch the microphone for me?" And I can't hear anything. The other thing it'll do is that if you do that with the podcast host, That'll reassure them that, hey, they've thought through this. You say, I've checked my microphone, but I would just want to make sure it sounds okay with you. Can you hear this? Boom, right then and there. It takes some stress off of them. So you are an adult. No one should tell you what to do. You should be a professional. And if you are on a podcast interview, I beg of you, put your best foot forward. Do a mic check beforehand. Scratch the microphone and ask the host, can you hear this? You'll be glad you did. The host will be glad you did. And the audience listening will definitely be glad you did.